I thought we could start looking at the Tao Te Ching. This was written by Lao Tzu 2,500 years ago, approximately. And it is one of those texts that has been translated and interpreted so many times that there are different versions out there, and some are good for beginners and others are more advanced literal translations. Some, I would say, are more interpretations, if you like, for the Western mind. This is more of an interpretation of the Tao. It's the Stephen Mitchell translation. And the Tao Te Ching is basically 81 verses in an attempt to point to the perennial wisdom, or expound the perennial wisdom, point to the eternal nature of oneself. It points to what is underlying our realities, and Tao is Lao Tzu's phrase or term for the way, and this is interpreted as perhaps the way of being in the world, the way of acting, right action. He introduces someone called a master, and in this context the master is the enlightened one, someone who is self-realized, and so he gives statements and then gives examples of how the master might behave in the world of form. So it has a practical application, and I always find that when I talk to clients and we get to the stage where perhaps we're looking at the Tao Te Ching, each session when we read a chapter, there's always something in that chapter that directly relates to and informs the difficulties that they're having in their lives at that time. It is bizarre like that. It seems almost magical in its ability to point to and get to the heart of difficulties in living. So clients might be in a particular phase in their journey, shall we say, and they might be suffering from personal difficulties in their life, as of course we all do. And no matter which chapter we are on in the Tao Te Ching at the time, there seems to be something that resonates and helps in that personalized struggle that we all seem to be involved in. So this is a work that is as close to pointing to the truth of our reality in words as I've ever come across. And I think it's second only to the Bible in the number of translations that it has had over the years. Let's get straight into it. So chapter 1, the Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. The unnameable is eternally real. Naming is the origin of all particular things. Free from desire, you realize the mystery. Caught in desire, you see only the manifestations. Yet mystery and manifestations arise from the same source. This source is called darkness. Darkness within darkness, the gateway to all understanding. So there's a lot packed into this first chapter. Each chapter is very short. You could read the whole Tao Te Ching in probably 20 minutes, or you could spend 20 years reading it. It goes deep. But let's just break down that chapter 1, and I'll reread it and then perhaps give my interpretation of what Lao Tzu is pointing to. The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. So straight away here, Lao Tzu is saying that the truth cannot be spoken. And as soon as we bring the truth into the world of the known, it loses the meaning of truth. In other words, it cannot be spoken. So it cannot be spoken and it cannot be named. And then, of course, he goes on for 81 chapters attempting to do just that, but very subtly through pointing to the truth of our nature rather than actually explicitly stating it. And the theme of the Tao Te Ching is that throughout the text and throughout the chapters, there are paradoxes and contradictions, and these are purposely put in because they reflect the paradox and the difficulties and the contradictions in living as well. So it does have practical applications, but we'll tease those out as we move forwards. So the second paragraph in chapter 1, the unnameable is eternally real. Naming is the origin of all particular things. So here we could say the unnameable is the impersonal realm of effortless awareness, the ground of being, which is eternally real. Eternally meaning lasting forever. It isn't limited by time and space. Naming is the origin of all particular things. So in the world of the personalized self, we name things, we know things, we identify things, we create that subject-object separation, the division. As soon as I look around the room and name something like a chair, I have created me as the subject, looking at a chair over there as the object. So naming is the origin of all particular things. So the particular things are every manifestation. You can see through the senses, taste, touch, hear, smell, or think about. Anything that arises in that realm, which is pretty much everything in the personalized realm, is a particular thing, because once we've named it, that is the separation that has created the division in the unnameable eternal reality, which is the impersonal realm. So we have the impersonal realm, the unnameable eternally real realm, and then we have the personalized realm, which is where we live, which is the naming of particular things. Free from desire, you realize the mystery. Caught in desire, you see only the manifestations. This is pointing to the Buddhist notion that suffering comes from attachment or desire. When we are free from desire, then we realize the mystery. The mystery is the effortless awareness, the impersonal being, that it manifests all the particular things. So when you're free from desire, which means attachment to the things in the world, the personalized realm of particular things, objects, personal possessions, the need to want more of certain things, and every element of desire that goes along in that personal realm, when you're free from the desire, then the mystery is apparent, or you realize the mystery, and the mystery is the eternal, ever-present, impersonal, effortless awareness. Caught in desire, you see only the manifestations. So this is the world of form, the particular things. When we are needing anything to fulfill us, then we can only see things and objects out there that might fulfill that need. And that so you only see the manifestations, you only see the personalized realm, the story of you. But then, of course, if we are talking about a monistic metaphysics, i.e. everything is one, then Lao Tzu goes further and says the following: yet mystery and manifestations arise from the same source. This source is called darkness. Darkness within darkness, the gateway to all understanding. And this is difficult, this is a paradox here, because we are defining a personalized realm of form, of things, the particular things, the subject-object division. And then we're saying, but also what we really have is the ground of being, which is impersonal, which is the effortless being. And that is a division. So the mystery being the effortless being, and the manifestations being the personalized realm. But of course, both of those arise from the same source. They're both the same thing. And this is the dilemma that we face in trying to navigate how two things can be one, which is the essential teaching of Advaita Vedanta or non-duality. Lao Tzu then says this source is called darkness, darkness within darkness, the gateway to all understanding. And that's not very satisfying for a lot of people when they read the first chapter, because we don't want darkness. We don't want to know that mystery manifestations arise from the same source. Well, we might want to know that if the source is enlightening, but he then doesn't give you anything to hold on to. He calls it darkness, darkness within darkness. And this can have a negative connotation for many seekers, because we want enlightenment, we want light, we want light to be shed upon our understanding so that we know. But Lao Tzu doesn't give you this in chapter 1. Not at all. He takes that from you. He's not going to enlighten you in the sense of giving you knowledge and understanding, because that is just part of the manifestations. That is just part of the personalized realm of being. So he's taking that from you and saying it's darkness within darkness. But then there's a gateway there to all understanding. So really not giving you what you want. And this is the difficulty at the beginning of the Tao Te Ching. But it's an honesty that Lao Tzu is stating here, that he is not going to pander to the needs and the wants of the individual self, the personalized realm of needing to know. Because the Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao, and the name that can be named is not the eternal name. And we'll leave it there for this video. That's chapter 1 of the Tao Te Ching.